Hey, do you hear me? Cameron, do you hear me? All right, dude. What's going on, man? Um, Obviously, we have two readings coming your way, but I want to first show you the deck that I'm going to basically share with you, all right? One, we have the Dark Mirror deck. It's actually a really good deck because what I like about this deck is that it speaks about things that are hidden within us that we cannot find otherwise. So, in other words, very dark secrets that we ourselves don't even know that's there. Sometimes it can hurt because we're being called out for that. But that's why this deck is very important. In fact, this deck is so good is that professional tarot card readers use it, but at the same time, when it comes to this deck, let me put it this way: not everyone can handle the information because it's that dark. Because no one likes to be called out on something that they want to remain hidden. But that's what this deck is all about. Now here's the second one. The second deck that we're going to use for you is called the Goddess Guidance Oracle Arts. These are really good only because that when you look at these cards, it's a lot more loving and a lot more careful and tactful than the Dark Mirror cards because with this type of information, it's actually really good because just think about it. You can't always be too hard on other individuals when it comes to information because if you think about it, not all, let's say, a shoe size could fit all people. You have to know how to, toss it up a little bit, and that's why I like this in the mix. Because if you have some dark, you gotta have some light, and that's what I like about this. Now we have our last deck that we're going to use for you, and this is called the Nico deck. It's actually really good. These are the actual tarot cards, because with that one is very interesting because though it's dark, it's very to the point, and I like that. So what I thought that I was going to go over with you first are the two readings that you asked for. One about your love life, and then the other one about which path spiritually that you want to be on. So, which one would you want first? Do you want the one about your love life or the one about your spiritual path? All right, and here's the cards that I'm gonna be shuffling. And as I shuffle, you tell me which one you want first. Now I'm gonna shuffle this one. Is the goddess cards. So do you know which one? Let me see. Gotcha, gotcha. I see what you're trying to say. And then lastly, the third deck about the dark mirror cards. All right, great. I'm gonna put on my ring for Sorath. All right. Let me just before I start, I always like to do this first. Hold on for 1 second. There we go. It's a very nice opening. It's from Tibet. It's really got spiritual item. Now, the first card that you have spiritually speaking, because we're going to go to your path first, your spiritual path. You got the Hierophant. The Hierophant card is actually a very good card because it basically speaks about how in your community, and in particular you're a very spiritual person. You're someone that obviously wants a lot of spiritual information and guidance. Obviously, that's what this reading is all about. And that's why I think that this deck here, when it came out to the Hierophant, is very apropos to what you're looking for. Hold on one second. I'm trying to read your comment here. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. So you know what? I can't wait when we do the one about the relationship between you and the high priest to see what that's all about. You know what I mean? Because no one wants that type of low key hate, because that means he can stick it to you any kind of way he wants, and you wouldn't even know about it, and he could jump in, and you miss out. I see exactly what you're trying to say. But when it comes to your path, though, like I said, with the Hierophant, it really does agree with the fact that spiritually speaking, you're on the right path, but it seems as if that it's unclear. And how do we know about that? The Moon card. The Moon card is a very good card, but it shows that it's all about illusions, and that's what you're feeling right now when it comes to which path that you want to be on. Are you going to stick with the path that you're doing right now, or you need something else? Well, it pretty much is self-explanatory with that Moon card, because it's all about illusions. Because right now you're going through an event in your life where it appears to be that it's really good for you, but you're getting a lot of doubt, a lot of cognitive dissonance. But this is what I thought was interesting. This is from the Goddess deck, and it's all about your inner wisdom. And I'm going to read it straight up here. It says, "You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay." Now, what Source is telling me about that particular card is that it's helping you to personally understand that as you make your decision on how and which way you're trying to go when it comes to what you want spiritually speaking, you already have that answer deep within yourself. Now, you're probably saying, how is that even possible if I'm obviously going to a tarot card reading to discover what path is good for me? Well, think of it this way. Did you know that if an individual already knows the answer, all they have to do is do some shadow work? Like, for example, look deep within yourself and ask yourself, if this particular path is convoluted, if this particular path is really hurting me in a long term and also short term, then is it really good for me? See, that is what you call inner wisdom, because what you're doing right now is that as you think about what's good for you, it's not about that person or the other person that's within your vicinity, but it's all about you as an individual. Because think about it, long term, is it going to benefit you? I mean that, Cameron, because honestly speaking, if you do not think about long term, it's going to bite you in the ass. Spiritually speaking, it's just going to bite you in the ass. Because as you just initiated yourself into the group and you're getting affiliated with these people, that's good short term, but long term, how's it really going to fare out with you? Well, we're going to get that within this tarot card reading. Now, oh wow, you have the card Ishtar. This card is really nice because it's all about setting your boundaries. I like that. The reason why I personally like that for you is because if you don't set your boundaries on what you like and what you dislike, then how are you going to find out what you really want? Take, for example, have you ever tried to have a meal, and let's say the person you care about, your mom, your dad, fixed you a good meal. They wanted you to eat it. You put the spoon in the bowl to eat the food, and then all of a sudden, as you eat the food, you go, "This meal is bad." Cameron, think about that for a second. That may seem to be a fundamental, easy illustration, but it's a lot of wisdom in that. Let me prove that. Why do you think that essentially that when someone says that this is bad, why do you think they say that? Well, it has to be because that inwardly we know deep down inside that as we taste that food, right? As we taste that food, it simply means that you know what bad is. It goes back to the inner wisdom. Inner wisdom is instinctively wise. It's something that you already know. You probably don't know on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, you know the difference between good and bad. Only you know that. That's why when you set your boundaries and when you think about that illustration, what you should say to yourself, I know what love is. I know, spiritually speaking, if this is not good for me, instinctively, I got to follow what's in my heart. Because in the long term, if this is not going to work out for me, then why am I still here? All it's going to do is cause cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance means that it's two different belief systems colliding. That's not a good thing. You know why I know it's not a good thing? Look at this card. Yeah, it's the death card in the tarot. It, what I don't like about that is this. Not only does it have a bad reputation, but it's letting me know about you that if you don't make up your mind and what you want, like for example, let me put it this way. The death card simply means that whatever path that you're on, you have to look out for the dangers. That's why you have that inner knowledge to guide you, and you have the boundaries. You need to have those boundaries because if you don't have boundaries, you have death that's going to await you. And we're not talking about a literal death, we're talking about a death that should pretty much, let's say, transformation. It's a type of transformation that if you don't basically undergo that transformation, you're not going to benefit. And that's what the death is because you're on that particular path. And if you do not accept what is really good for you, like your inner wisdom, you're going to face that death. And you could transform for good or for worse. So that death card, either it's a bad omen or not, you have to look out for that. And you know why I also know that you're going to also find the best path for yourself? Here's why. It says here you get the high priestess. The high priestess card is actually a very good card. I know it reminds you of the person that you have um, that relationship with, but in the tarot, what this means is that you yourself, Cameron, is a very spiritual person. You're spiritual enough to know what's good from bad. Like I said before, when it comes to that inner wisdom, remember? But with this card, it's saying as a spiritual person, you already know what to do. That's what it's telling me. It's not talking about the girl, it's not talking about the guy. This tarot card is specifically about you. It's very, very personal. It's telling me to tell you that spiritually speaking, you're actually more capable than what you think you are. All you have to do is implement that in your life, and you know what to do next. Now, let's continue with this tarot card reading, and you know what's going to happen next. Hopefully, you do. But if you don't, listen. It says here from the Goddess card to see, it says here to easy does it. What that means is that as you make a decision on what you're trying to do, make what's best for you, give clarity for yourself, well, it simply helps you to appreciate that you want to take one step at a time. That's what it says easy does it. Now, why is that? Well, when people make decisions for themselves, they tend to rush into it. And when they rush into it, they're not really being kind to themselves. They want to rush and then they want to make sure that they are on the right path. And then just what if, Cameron, that you have to bump your head in order to learn, through your mistakes? Hold on. Yo, high five, my dude. You see what I'm trying to say? And yo, tarot cards don't lie. And even when it comes to the high priestess card here, yo, dude, it says that you are very high. Look, high priestess, and I'm gonna read it. It says, look, Cameron. It says, and I'm gonna read it down here. It says, you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. That is how crazy that is. It's not, yeah. Oh, hey, how you doing, Jamie? Good to have you here. But just so I'll let you know, yo, look at what you're doing personally, and it's going to help you. Okay, it is going to help you because you already have that within yourself. You're high ranking, spiritually speaking, you're very powerful. What else is there? Well, here's the next one. You have a quiet time. Now, what does this mean? It says take some time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. Now, that's very important because as this tarot card reading is going on, you want to take the time to understand obviously what is right for you and in connection between you and you yourself. Remember what I said before, it's not about anybody else. Do not focus on anybody else. When you sit in your room, close the door, meditate, think about what is beneficial for you. Quiet time. You know how many spiritual gurus, how many ascended masters meditate a day? Well, it may be more or less than what we do as the normal people. But you know what, though? They take the time to meditate on what their next step is, not just in the short term, but long term. Because this is personal and it's for you and it's for you alone, Cameron, that you absolutely need to do this for yourself. Without this quiet time, how are you going to basically benefit? Think about it. What if you're running to the store? What if you're trying to appease this person? You're trying to appease that person. You're not going to benefit because you have no time for yourself. Quiet time. You already have the spiritual ranking, the knowledge to foresee all this. All that's left is for you to meditate, do some shadow work, and see what's best for you. Now, here comes a little darker cards. And these darker cards are going to really be personal for you, all right? Here we go. You have this darker card that says, is this for me? I repeat, the question underneath this card is this for me? That is such an apropos card, which in other words, is such an important card to your tarot card reading because that's what you're asking yourself. You're saying, is this for me? This is what the tarot card, this is what source is telling me. It wants me to suggest to you the Hermetics. In other words, the 7 or sometimes called the 12 laws of the universe. You need to get into the Hermetics because spiritually speaking, it doesn't hurt, even though we're very high ranking, it doesn't hurt to learn a little bit more about ourselves, to teach ourselves about what is good for us. So in other words, when you get into Hermetics and the 7 or sometimes the 12 laws of the universe, and mind you, that's what light workers refer to when it comes to the law of attraction. That's where they got that from. See, I believe it's the fourth law of the universe. Even if you Google it right now about the Hermetics, it's going to teach you about that. It's going to teach you about the rhythm of the universe. It's going to talk about polar opposites. I mean, I can name them all right now, but specifically, if you're still asking yourself, is this for me? That sometimes is not a good thing, Cameron. You know why I say that? Think about this. If you're in a relationship with anybody, you're in a relationship with anyone, and you're still asking the question, is this for me? Well, that means that you have not gotten to a point where you are definitive and you're deeply rooted in the place that you are right now. That's why you're asking yourself the question, is this for me? It's a dark card because it's calling you out by saying that you need to make up your mind. The reason why you need to make up your mind, when we take this card and we look at the card that personifies you, Cameron, it says that you're already a high priestess. You have that inner knowledge, that inner knowing on what to already do. That's why source is telling me that you need to look at hermetics. You need to look at also a hold on for a second. I'm getting the reading here. Okay, you need to look at what is called Philema. Philema is another spiritual system that could help you to appreciate spiritually what you could do in your current state of mind. Why do I say that? Philema has a nice adage for you, Cameron, and I want to share that with you today. Now, it's going to be convoluted, but it's going to make sense. Listen carefully. There is a mountain, then there was no mountain, and finally, there was a mountain. You're probably saying, what does that mean? Because it's esoteric, right? But it makes sense. Let me make sense of that adage for you. It's a form of magic. Think of it this way, Cameron. When we go over the first part, there is a mountain. What you're doing right now is that you're looking at your path and you physically see it in a superficial way that is in front of you. You're putting your all into it, your energy into it, and you're learning. That's cool and all. And there's nothing wrong with that. But now here comes the second part. The second part is there is no mountain. Check this out. When it comes to Philema and you think about there is no mountain, and this is where you're at right now, Cameron. All right? Remember, is this me? This is you questioning yourself. But this is where you're at. And remember, there is no mountain. Because now as you're thinking about how you are relating to the others around you in a spiritual sense, is this for me? What you're saying is that there is no mountain. In other words, as you're pretty much going into this and you're trying to learn, you're not getting anything out of this. You're not. Why? Because in a long-term effect and even in the short-term effect, you know you're not benefiting. That's why you're asking yourself the question, is this for me? But then finally, out of nowhere, the last part of that Philema adage, there is a mountain. Let me explain that. The last part would be this. Now, this card is very important because it says today for tomorrow. This is a very good card because you know why? When you explain the last adage of there is a mountain, that's when things make sense. Because as you spend time and you think about like the other paths that the source wants you to go on, like Philema or even the Hermetics, because all they are good guidelines and magical systems to teach you about the world around you and who you really are. Not the person next to you, but you. It's very, very personal. So that's why when we think about this last step, there is a mountain, it makes sense because now we think about today for tomorrow. Today for tomorrow card simply means that when you look at who and what you are today, tomorrow speaking, oh my goodness, you're going to make a huge transformation in your life. And when you make that transformation, you're going to know it because you know why? It's going to make sense to you. Think of it this way. I'm going to explain it this way so you could understand. When you look at this card today for tomorrow, what it is saying specifically, your transformation being this person, asking the question, is this for me? That answer is going to be questioned, that question is going to be answered to you in record time. In other words, it's around the corner. And that's what I love about this card, today for tomorrow. So whatever it is that you're looking for, if you look into the Hermetic teachings, you look into Philema, even on your phone right now, on your smartphone, look it up. It's going to help you to appreciate that what you're looking for is going to come practically right away. Practically right away. And that's a good thing. Today for tomorrow. You're not going to wait forever. it's going to come to you just like that. Because you know why? Because of your rank, of who you are. You are a high priest. You're someone that has that inner wisdom. You just have to put it to practice, Cameron. And once you look at what source is telling me to tell you, what you need to do specifically is look at Hermetic teachings and look at specifically Philema. It's going to tell you specifically who you really are and what you need to work on. And here's a third thing. What source is telling me, it's saying try to get into astrology as well. Right. And once you do that, it's going to help you. And lastly, this is the last card. It says the Bride in the Cage. The Bride in the Cage is a very good card only because that's what you feel currently. Remember, if you're still asking yourself, is this for me? You feel practically caged. You feel as if that there's no other place for you to go. All you need to do is open up that bird cage. Because you know what? Ultimately, Cameron, you have the key to open up that bird cage. Just like sources telling me, all you need to do, Cameron, is simply just look in yourself. Don't think about the short term. Think about the long term and go, this cannot be for me because if I have this much doubt, this much cognitive dissonance, this cannot be for me because your spiritual being should be home. Remember, your body is a temple. Your body is a temple. If you don't feel comfortable, then how could you say that this is for you when ultimately it's not? Now, that's your reading when it comes to your path working and what it means to decide what path is good for you. Okay? Now, do you want to jump into your second one? Okay, great, great. And I hope you like this thus far, Cameron. But before we get into your second reading, I'm gonna do some shuffling. All right, I gotta shuffle your cards. But as I shuffle, please, dude, all I have to tell you is please take that very seriously. I don't like to just give tarot card readings. I want to basically I want to show that sympathy and not apathy. Because that's not good to basically just give a tarot card reading and not show that fellow heart. Because I obviously, man, I really do. Hold on. Good, good, good. Yeah, because and I hope you do because you got to think about it. If the other tarot card reader is saying that you're high ranking and you're actually good at what you do and you're actually wise, think about it. You're 26 years old. You already have that inner knowledge, dude. All you have to do is meditate. Remember what the tarot card says. Take the quiet time. Take that quiet time. Meditate. Think about what's for you, and you're going to basically look into the hermetics, possibly even the astrology, and then you have Philema. See, do all that stuff, and it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit you, and look into that. Now, right now, we're gonna do the relationship between you and the High Priestess. I'm trying to look for space to place these cards. All right. So you have about 3 cards from the Dark Mirror. Now we're going to look at the Goddess cards, and we're going to basically see what the Dark card is. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So you have about 3 cards from here as well. Now we're going to look at these cards. These are the normal tarot deck. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So we have about cards here. Put them aside. All right, so now let's start here. There we go. And now we're going to do this one. All right. Oh, wow. Wow, that's serious. That is very serious. So, you know what, dude? Pay attention what's going to happen next to your tarot reading when it comes to this. All right, let me see. Let me see. Oh, wow. All right. We're going to start off when it comes to the dark tarot. All right. Your answer will be given right now. You get this tarot deck. It says peaceful, peaceful amongst thorns. Peaceful amongst thorns, which is very fitting for you. You see where it has this monk here meditating? It connects with your other reading too, because I think about how ranking you are and how intelligent you are. That source is telling me a monk is very, very spiritual. But notice that he's amongst thorns, but yet he's peaceful. It really does solidify the situation you are in right now as we speak, because you're a person that is amongst thorns. Something is bothering you in your situation about this individual trying to sidestep you to manipulate the other person, the high priestess, against you. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like, what do you go from there? Well, notice here. It says, I'm going to pull out the next one. It says here that you want to, hold on, I'm trying to, these cards are basically stuck together. All right. This is called divine passion. I'm trying to make it so you see it. It says divine passion, and I'm going to read it for you. It says, be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? Cameron, that is so telling. If you connect this one, you're peaceful amongst thorns, or that's what you need to be right now, don't let it bother you. Because what's going on, remember, Cameron, you don't have any control over how she feels or how he feels. You can't even stop what he's doing. Because honestly speaking, if he goes ahead and he does it, honestly speaking, she has to be convinced enough in order to listen to what he has to say about you. That's why this card is so important, because it says that you want to be peaceful amongst all the bad that's surrounding you. It kind of reminds me of an adage that someone once told me. It says that in order for you to know what a good person is, you have to be surrounded by bad people. That's what that means, to be peaceful amongst thorns. You got to be surrounded by the badness in order for you to basically be honest with yourself. It's that divine passion that you already have, because you're a spiritual person and you're actually very wise. And that's what source is telling me, because having that divine passion for spiritual matters is going to have you go to greater lengths, greater heights. Why do I know that? Oh, wow. Look, it says you have a bright future. I know it's all this glare on the card, but it says you have a bright future ahead of you. It says stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. That is nice. Now, how sources help me to appreciate what that means. Obviously, it does make sense, because if you have divine passion in what you feel and what you're doing, nothing is going to stop you. And if you're peaceful amongst all the bad that is surrounding you, again, what's going to really disturb your peace? You. You're going to be the only one that's stopping yourself from actually going higher and higher and higher in a spiritual sense. But yet, you have a bright future ahead of yourself. That's a beautiful thing. Think about it. When it comes to you and that high priestess, What you need to do is continue doing what you have always been doing. Keep on being Cameron. Keep on being yourself. If the third party does not like the fact that you talk to her, that you're interested, no matter what the level of interest is, no matter what it is, either it's platonic, it's love, no matter what it is, spiritual matters, it doesn't matter. You got a bright future. Continue doing what you're doing. Stop worrying. Let me read it again. It says, stop worrying, Cameron. Everything is going to be fine. I love this reading. It's really, really good. And oh, wow, look. I think I kind of alluded to it before. Transformation, and it has the butterfly. And spiritually speaking, butterflies are perfect when it comes to transformation. Let me read what this card is saying to you specifically. It says that you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. I love that. The reason why I love that card is because it's in connection with your current situation. You don't like it, but you know that you have a bright future. If you do not allow what he is doing to you, or even allow your own negative thoughts to hurt you and to keep you grounded and to a point where you can't take off, you're never going to transform. You're not going to be that butterfly. You're not going to take flight. You're going to be forever in that cocoon. You don't want to be that way. You know how we know that? It's the Lover's Arcana. The Lover's Arcana. That's right. The Lover's Arcana. With this card, it's all about you and your relationship with others. It doesn't have to be platonic. It doesn't have to be romance, but it definitely does mean your relationship with others. And what that does is reinforces every single card that we just pulled out of your deck when it comes to your relationship with the High Priestess. And that simply means that if you pay attention to your relationship with that individual, come on, really, you should know at this point where the tarot is leading, it's helping you to appreciate that Source wants you to not to worry and not care about anyone else. You're going to get what you want, but it's going to take, that's right, sacrifice. It's going to take sacrifice. What that means is that if it is you, Cameron, if it is you that you have envy, or you don't like that High Priestess, the person that you have that connection with, speaking with the other person, then you're not going to really, you don't want to sacrifice yourself, in other words, meaning your well-being and who you are. So in other words, don't give up. If you sacrifice yourself, then you're doing it wrong. Don't give up. You know why? You know why? Guess what? What does it say on top? Cameron, do you read that? And I know it says it backwards, but if you look closely, it says, do not back down. It says, stand up for what you believe is right, Cameron. That's very personal. I never really had much tarot card readings that are very direct and very personal. And even if it does, it's very broad. This one, if you can see how the language of each and every card is pretty much spelling it out to you as clear as day. It's telling you what to do. It's not saying maybe do this, maybe do that. It says do not back down. Whoever that person is, if he's trying to instill fear within you, then that's not good. Because you know why? You know why? The last card of the tarot deck is saying this. It's the devil. It's the devil card. The devil card is a feared card, but in a very personal way, it is not a bad card. You know why? Because the devil card teaches you that you need to break an addiction. This tarot card is telling me something very, very specific. This is going to be something that you may not like, Cameron, and I'm serious. You may not like this, but it's telling me that the problem is not just the other person. It says that the problem may be you. Do you have some sort of negativity that is going through you right now? The tarot deck is saying you do. Because if you have thorns all around you, but yet you have to be peaceful, it obviously does mean that you need to break an addiction. And specifically, it's to me, sources telling me that you feel it's like you're overthinking things. You get what I'm trying to say? And it's causing you a lot of problems, a lot of negativity. It's like knives stabbing you all over the place. You're trying to make something of it, which I give you credit because you're being peaceful about it. You're allowing all this stuff to surround you. It's like smiling when you know that you're in pain. It takes a very, very strong person to do that because that's what source tells me. It's yeah, you see, yeah, and yeah, it is true because when I look at you, when source is telling me who you are as a person, it says that you are a very strong person, but you are the person that can be. Well, there's no other way to see this. It could be a self-defeatist argument because you are the person that could be in the way. It's not the other person, it's really you. Because remember, it says this. Here's hope for you. You have a bright future. It only works one way. You will get what you want, but in the other way, that's if you give up. Remember, we have that card. Let me see if I can look that up for you. Let me see here. It said, oh, sacrifice. If you sacrifice yourself, you just screwed yourself over. You don't want that. Do not sacrifice yourself. Stay on the path that you are with this person, with the high priestess, because you're already a spiritual person. You're already very wise. Stick with that. Don't worry about the little stuff, what he may be telling her or anything like that, because you have the lover's arcana. You have a strong bond with that person. You have a strong bond with her, right? That simply means that nothing else is going to matter. Unless we go right back, and this is just me being very repetitive, if you sacrifice yourself, meaning you just give up. You go, you know what? He's better than me. I'm younger than him. This person's taller than me. He has good hair. He has no hair. I don't care. It's like you are thinking about the negative yourself. That's why I love tarot card readings. Tarot does not lie. So I repeat, tarot does not lie. Dude, do not give up. Now, the last card for your reading is going to summarize everything. And it's interesting because it's this one. It's, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's getting very personal. It's getting very personal, Cameron. And notice this one. It says the arts. It says express yourself through creative activities, Cameron. That is very beautiful. You know why that's beautiful? Because when we think about expressing oneself through many different arts, that's going to be a very good outlet for you. Because think about it this way. You know you're not going to sacrifice yourself. So we already know that tarot source is already painting it out very personal for you. Don't give up. That's what it's saying. All right. So I'm going to bring that out to you right now because as I'm summarizing your tarot card readings, especially in this one, just in case that you're just a little like slow at it, I'm going to paint it out to you. Source is telling me do not give up. Just in case that it's going over your head, do not give up. Take that course of action, continue doing what you're doing, but along the path that you take, you want to express yourself through other activities. And that makes a lot of sense because you know why? Source is telling me get into like something artsy, something like I don't know if you like to draw, music, however way you like to express yourself, either it's through clothing, fashion, whatever. Do that. You know why? You know why? Here, this is what source is telling me. Once you express yourself through other means of arts, you're going to get your mind off of the problems. Hello? Does that not make sense to you? Dude, express yourself through other arts because once you do that, you have to realize, dude, you already have the divine passion to continue doing what the hell you're doing right now. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need the guy that's trying to dampen your day to tell you who and what you are and what to believe in. You already know yourself. Look at that inner wisdom. Remember, you're a high-ranking individual. All you need to do is take that time to meditate Express yourself through other means. And this is me summarizing. Express yourself through other means, either it be artistic, through social media, whatever makes you happy. Because the more you do that, and I repeat, you're not going to even think about that knucklehead. You're not going to even think about your own negative thinking. Oh, maybe I'm too fat. Maybe I'm this. Maybe I'm that. Maybe I'm not aggressive enough. That is so perfect for you. And you know that, Cameron. You know that. You see how everything just makes sense and it just flows? Its source just flows through you and it flows through me to tell you that whatever happens, let it happen. But you know that you have a bright future ahead of you. You're going to get what you want, but keep your mind off of the bad. All that negative that you're going through right now, take it easy. I remember we had a card like that, didn't we? Didn't we? Hold on. I'm going to search for that right now. Where's that other card? It spoke about how you need to take it easy. Let me see here. I'm going to look for it because I have these cards on top of each other. And sometimes I don't like that because, stop worrying. Look, I'm reading it to you. Look, stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. Dude, you have a very good reading, man. I think you're you're overthinking. Hold on, I'm gonna read your comment. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be fine. Think about this one. You have the Lover's Arcana. If you and that person already have a relationship going for yourself, one thing I love about women that men don't have is the fact that women, they're more connected emotionally to the person they already have a relationship with. See, men like us, we tend to look at any other girl and then we just jump onto them. You know how it is. But women are like that. I don't care what generation you are, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it doesn't matter. Women will always be more loyal and more intuitive than men. You get what I'm trying to say? That's why you have the Lover's Arcana. It's helping you to appreciate that regardless of what's going to happen, it's going to be fine. And you're going to get your girl, dude. Stick with it. Stick with it. Because women are a lot more into relationships and they need that. Whatever it is that you did with her in the past and you're doing now, keep it up. And lastly, I'm going to repeat this other let me see, tarot deck with you. Hold on for a second. I'm going to say, where is it? Oh, here we go. Do not back down. All right, stand up for what you believe is right. You already know, Cameron. You already know. So I hope those two tarot card readings helped you out because I know it helped me out. Because you know why? It helped me to see who you really are. Because, like I said, though you're a young guy, you already got things already set up for you. You're just overthinking. Okay? But this is something that I want to ask you. Is there anything else that you want me to do for you? All right, cool, 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 cool. All right, man. I don't know what else to say. I'm just very happy for you. I'm very happy for you because it says you have a bright future. So it's gonna work out for you. I mean, it's very personal. So I don't know what else to tell you. It's not like it's saying, don't do this, don't do that. Maybe no, it's being very personal. So with that said and done, dude, I just hope you have a good day. And dude, just check back. Hold on, I'm gonna read your comment. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you all, and have a good one. And thanks work out for you, Cameron. All right, have a good day.